Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing this February the 11th, 2024. Daily cryptocurrency and XRP, gold and silver bullion, along with the altcoin updates that you've come to expect, love, need, and deserve. And remember to become yes members of Jabroni Killers for an industry cheap $2.99 a month. And most importantly, with that Dana best value. And what it does get you is my first and utmost attention on a direct line of communication via the comments. And I will read your comments first, like, respond in the comments, and I will talk about it like I am now and discuss what you would like to look at. Thanks for the comment right there. For the comment there. And let's see what he wants. Hello, Vincenzo. You still think DGB? Yes, I do think DGB can go down and hit that target that we've been talking about and to make 1 million DGB. Yes, I think that's a solid game plan. XRP Ripper Z. I went over it yesterday. We'll look at it again today. And this is something you get, yes, as members of Jabroni Killers. And I'll show you that head and shoulders that is in the middle of trying to fulfill the target in a short term to midterm topping out reversal pattern. We'll give you a heart there. Great update. We did some quorum earlier. The Gateman 999. We'll look at it again in this video. Thanks for taking the time. Thank you. Thank you. Peace and love to you, my brother. Hey, brother. Yes, my mother over the weekend had surgery, so that's why these videos were a little more sporadic. Uh, Let's see. XLM first made it to the top at 64 cents. Yes, we were talking about that. Thanks for the great comments, my good man. Peter, crypto, use another update. Vincenzo, these are all old, so the comments are a little bit old. We'll get into the video. We'll start off, and we're going to look at a couple of gold stocks that I do own, that I do feel will continue to do well. Let's start off with Bitcoin dominance. And if we look at Bitcoin dominance, you can see we had a nice rally the last couple of days, and you notice what's happening in the dominance. It's starting to trend back down towards that major underneath support down here at 58.55% dominance. And we all understand, based on watching these videos, when Bitcoin dominance is rising like this, the altcoins are crashing and crashing fast if that accelerates to the upside. And just like the last month and a half, ever since about 2 months now, early December, Bitcoin dominance has more or less been rising, and the altcoins have substantially fallen by 30 to 50%, and some of them greater. When Bitcoin dominance is falling like so, the altcoins rally like they did during the Trump inauguration and slightly after through early December, where they went up 3 to 6x, right? So Bitcoin dominance falls, altcoins rally because people take their money out of Bitcoin and put it into the altcoins. Bitcoin dominance rises, altcoins tank and sell off, whether Bitcoin's going up or down, especially when Bitcoin's going down because people dump out of their altcoins and put their money into their perceived safe haven of crypto, which that is Bitcoin, right? If we look at the Bitcoin price, we can see the Bitcoin price is still sitting up in a double top, two patterns in the monthly time frame and the weekly time frame. Here's the weekly. You can see the head and shoulders topping reversal pattern, and it's in the monthly time frame. But if we go into the daily time frame and it's the 4 hourly, we could be having a head forming here. And at the top of the head, we could be having a mountain double top or an M topping reversal pattern where you have your double top peak and then your neckline's right there, right? And a technical target out of that would be from the top of the head to the neckline, which is support, 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 neckline to the point of a breakout. And that gets you down to about $73,897 ish, or slightly above it, but we'll go with the 73,000 because that's a major support level from the left shoulder that was formed there. You see that back there in March of 2024. And then we could also be in the weekly time frame, which that could be how you get your neckline down almost to the neckline. If we go into the daily time frame, that could be within a bigger pattern in macro. That was a micro time frame pattern. This could be your macro time frame pattern, and this could be a head and shoulders short to medium term topping out reversal pattern, which would play out if it was true over the next 3 to 6 months, potentially even a little bit longer than that, maybe upwards of a year for this to play out. This would be a potentially 6 month to a year pattern that we, if this is a head and shoulders topping reversal pattern, and that would be a depressing target of 32,366.05, which seems like a huge fall because it is. It's about 65 to nearly 70%. But if this was a topping out pattern in Bitcoin after the ferocious new all-time high bull run, this would make sense because Bitcoin has had about 3 or 4 of these after massive bull markets. So we're just going to have to continue to pay attention to that and watch what's going on there. If we look at the XLM, we've been in a short to medium term bearish sentiment ever since we topped out at that 63 cents, seeing that support level and resistance level at a short or medium term bullish or bearish signal at 43 cents. And we, about a month and a half ago, diagnosed that line, maybe even 2 months ago now, that if we're below 43 cents, we're bearish. If we're above 43 cents, we're short to medium term bullish. And we've been short to medium term bearish primarily since we had that peak back in late November, right? And now you can see the 50-day moving average is trending down. We looked at that earlier. It's down to 38 cents. 34 cents is the 100-day moving average. And I expect a bearish cross of the 50 to cross and get underneath instead of on top of the medium term moving average, which is the 100-day in blue, sometime in the next 3 to 6 days. Probably at least by this time next week, it would do that, unless we have some kind of very short term rally. But between now and then, your major support level is at 27 cents. Your major resistant level is that descending overhead 50 that's sitting at 38 cents now. So I think we're going to trade within this range for several more days until we do have a bearish cross. And then that could put even more downside pressure, which could try to drive the price as low as 16 cents. But if we break back above, no, I don't want to buy this. If we break back above the fifth the 50-day moving average at 38 cents, we can more than definitely try to retest a major resistant level at 43 cents. So that's what we're watching out for. But what I think is likely over the next 3 to 7 days is we trade within a range between the underneath 27 cents and the overhead descending 37 cent, the moving averages. So we're going to trade between the 50 and the 200 in the daily, I think. The same thing with XRP. We're in this head and shoulders potential topping out reversal pattern, and we could be on the right shoulder. So a right shoulder top would be up there at about $2 and what is that over there? $2.91 at the peak of a right shoulder, but that would likely be towards the end of the head and shoulders right shoulder short to medium term topping out reversal pattern being formed. Right now, we're just trying to bounce off the neckline. I could see another retest of the neckline, which is sitting at about the 100-day moving average in blue there. That's starting to run parallel to even trying to turn around and trend down, as we do have the 100-day moving, 50-day moving average in the daily trending down. And I think right now, forming this neckline, because we had that wick all the way down there to about $2.66. We're gonna continue to trade between this descending 50 and the 100-day moving average, forming that right shoulder. Then eventually we could have a spike in volume and a spike in price, sort of as a big fake out, and that could fulfill that right shoulder that it looks like we're trying to build right now. But right now, in the short term, I think we're going to continue to trade between those two moving average, and the 255 is a major overhead resistance. It's kind of like that 43 cents for XLM, and we do know a technical target out of, if this is head and shoulders with the left shoulder, the head formed and a right shoulder, point of a breakout would be all the way down here below the 200-day at about $1.28. ZIL, I think somebody talked about, wanted me to say a few weeks ago. ZIL has been trending down, and if we go into the weekly, ZIL has hit a double top here at about 37 cents, and we flushed down. And this one could, because how much it came down, you could try to pump back up into the daily time frame closer to these moving averages, which are clustered up here. Get over here, which are clustered in the 200-day. It's 200-day is sitting there at about 19-20 cents, and that would be a pretty big rally from where it's at now. So I could see ZIL, because it's been the most beaten down, try to make a 30 or 35% run up to the moving average. Not to say it's going to come back up to that 0.037 cents, but it's been beaten down the hardest ever since its rally at the early December. It went down greater than 70%. So I could absolutely see a run back to the 200-day moving average in a short term to medium term response after the very, very bearish action that's been going on. So in the short term, that's one that we could actually be a little bullish on. Algo, we talked about it earlier. I expect a bearish cross of the 50 to go through the 100 in the next 3 to 7 days. It's a descending 50 now, and now we're all the way down to 34 cents. The 100-day moving average is trending down. It's now down to 32 cents, and the 200 is running parallel, where we got bounced off minus the wick, sitting there at around 27 cents, kind of like XLM. And I think we're going to continue to trade in between the 200 and descending overhead 50, trending downward here in the short to medium term. And I do think that there is more bearish action in this coin, and I think we're going to touch 18 cents before we touch the 53 cents again, right? So that's just my own personal thoughts there. DGB, we said we'd look at that, where this is the head and shoulders topping out reversal pattern, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and we diagnose this back here, and then point of a breakout, and that's how we get to that 0.00588. We did wick down in a flash wick, but I still do think even if we try to trade back up closer to the 200-day moving average, you notice here we had the bearish cross that we've been talking about for about 7 to 10 days now, as this was one of the canaries in the coal mine, that this one was that the coins were overall going bearish. And we could see this one was going to have a bearish cross before even XLM or XRP's moving averages started moving down. And we did have that bearish cross the last 24 to 48 hours, where the 50-day moving average is now slightly below a descending 100-day moving average in blue there. Notice how the 50 is below the blue or the 100. And I think we're going to have a bearish cross in the 200-day, where the red is going to, not only as it did cross the 100-day, the red's going to be below the 100-day and below the green one, 200-day. And I think that in the next 3 to 7 days, after maybe a little bit of a retracement here to the upside, is going to force that price down to fulfill that technical target in DGB. So XRP Ripper, I think your trade is looking fine. Peace and love to my beautiful audience.